gets dark. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DemonPeaks podcast, the dirtiest place outside of the Roadhouse, the only podcast on the entire internet to hear about Twin Peaks. That includes all those other fucking people on Instagram with their goddamn podcast about Twin Peaks.
They're great.
Fuck them. I'm, of course, DemonPeaks. Sean, this is GothPeaks. Adam, say hello, Adam. Checking his fucking.
Hello. Yeah, I can drink my drink. Why? What's wrong with that?
Always chugging on some, sipping on some.
In your phone's going off. I hear something, some fucking.
I hate that it fucking does.
If anybody has headphones right now, they can hear him. Give him shit and tell him to fucking get his shit together.
I got important people messaging me. I got all these.
So
you know what my text message noise is?
People to do what?
You know what my text message noise is?
I don't know. It's like.
Yeah, it's Do you ever hear of the movie Manos: The Hands of Fate?
No.
It's a terrible fucking movie. But there's a guy who his knees don't work right. His name is Torgo, and when he walks, they play this theme song that's dun, 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 dun. It's a clip from that.
You know what stupid song I've always loved for some reason is the in the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, that workout song that plays on the machine that Carl's on. I don't know. I don't even remember how it goes. I just remember loving it every time I hear it.
Aqua Teen has a lot of good. There's a lot of good shit from Aqua Teen. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I love Aqua Teen. That was like the first like Adult Swim show. You know what I mean? That and Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
There should be a Aqua Peaks Hunger Force.
Aqua Peaks. Oh boy, I might. I think the hardest thing I've done was the Dragon Ball P, just to get the cartoons and everything meshed together.
Oh yeah,
and it actually looked pretty good.
You did really good with that.
Yeah, thank you. So I might try my hand with Aqua Teen. This stuff's a lot easier because it's SWAT cats backgrounds with digitally things put in front of it. So I mean that's the easiest.
Oh yeah, the really bold line work. So I mean, cutting that shit out.
I don't think anybody drew it. I think they just fucking. It's just a digital like rendering of a fucking fry box and.
Probably.
Okay, so on today's show. After that, we're talking about our favorite media or literature. It's kind of an open topic. We'll talk about that. Things we're passionate about. Making love to a confused young man or a beautiful woman, whatever you're into. Before we start,
they have to be confused.
They have to be. If it's a beautiful young man, I hope they're confused because we're old.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what that means.
I want to give a shout out to the people who did our opening song. Lula is in trouble. Song is Midnight Coffee. If you're on the YouTubes, our logo and artwork were done by Corvid Days. Find them on Etsy. They do amazing work. Show opening was done by Goth himself. I say this every week. Good job.
Thanks. I need the praise every week.
You do. You have a very poor ego. You think about yourself very poorly often. So I try to say positive things to you every couple of days.
I got to motivate myself to do better.
Every couple of days I send you a message and I'm like, hey, just hoping you're doing good, buddy.
Making sure you didn't kill yourself.
Yeah. I do the same thing to Coral Wholesome Pigs because she's a mess half the time. So I'm like, hey, checking in on you. How you doing? And it's never good. It's always poorly. She is doing.
It's not funny.
No, it's not. It's hilarious, but it's not funny.
I want everyone to be doing good.
She's not doing good ever. So I just send her a message. I'm like, hey, buddy, checking on you. She's like, oh, I'm pathetic or whatever she says about herself. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm just checking that you're normal.
Checking that you're still being your old Holocaust denying self.
Yeah, so she likes that. I mean, it's something that she's really into. Some people really get into history, and her history is just an alter. She once told me that she didn't believe Anne Frank was a real person. Fact. She said it. So I don't know anything about this. She said this Anne Frank character. I don't know about this Anne Frank character. I said, what do you mean? So this whole thing seems like Jewish propaganda. I said, whoa.
Wasn't Anne Frank that deaf, dumb, and blind lady?
No, she was the Jewish girl who wrote a diary about escaping.
Hey, I didn't write the joke. It was, I believe that was Kevin Smith from Clerks.
Oh, is that, yeah, that's right. I don't like
Clerks
Kevin.
2, I think.
I don't care for.
I don't like him now. I don't like him now.
I liked Clerks 1. Mallrats.
2.
That's it. That's all I like.
You didn't like Chasing Amy or Dogma or anything like that?
Dogma was garbage. Kevin Smith's opinions on religion. Yeah, I give a fuck about what he has to say about religion. I bet you I could tell you what he's going to say about well, it's evil. Like he's not. He has no real opinions about anything. He's the most bland, generic, Patton Oswalt-y kind of guy. Like they don't have any.
There's some really weird shit with his Netflix show, his Masters of the Universe shit.
It was garbage.
Didn't he take
out? He also said
He-Man?
he did. Well, you know, the thing about it is he was like, I'm a big He-Man fan. And then it turns out he never watched it and wasn't a fan. So, like, why are you in charge of this? You don't fucking know anything about it. And not that I have any reverence for He-Man because it was a pretty garbagey character to begin with. But don't put a guy who doesn't like it in charge of it.
The most I've ever seen of He-Man was the 10-hour repeat of that.
The song? Oh, I love it. I love it. You know what 10-hour one I like? They're taking the Hobbit to Isengard.
For putting that on all the time.
Yeah. That's I listen to that one all the time. They're taking
they're taking the Hobbits to Isengard. God.
I could put that on for 100 hours. I would listen to that. It's the most catchy fucking thing in the world. It's the best thing Orlando.
There was a few of those where they made a song out of that
Orlando
shit.
Bloom.
Why is the rum gone?
Yeah.
Why is the rum gone? Why is the What?
Is that Orlando Bloom? Is that who that is?
Yeah.
I always get him confused with nobody because I don't know who else I would ever be thinking of because he's a pretty particular looking guy.
He's not much.
Yeah.
Just pirates and
I forgot about the Pirates movies. I only ever saw the first two. They're pretty entertaining. I mean, they're stupid.
Great. Yeah, I liked all three of them. The fourth one was like worse, and
I don't have any. They're not supposed to be good movies.
You know, it was a really big realization for me when you told me that fucking everything that Johnny Depp did after Fear and Loathing
was just Hunter Thompson.
Crazy. Yeah.
He's just a crazy person. He
went nuts. Right. Like I was trying to think of anything normal he fucking did.
No,
after that,
I'm telling you right now, Hunter Thompson ruined his life, but by a long shot. And
I still enjoyed a lot of the weird movies.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say he wasn't good. I just said he was a crazy man. I'm pretty sure the spirit of Hunter Thompson, after the bullet left his skull, went into John Depp. Yeah,
went into him.
That's what happened to him. Wait, you know what? I remember when he killed himself, and no one was surprised.
Yeah.
And his wife said she found him. Well, what'd you do? I said I poured a drink. I'm not going anywhere. I always think of there's a terrible movie called My Boss's Daughter with Ashton Kutcher. But there's a fantastic line in it. And it's by the guy from Reservoir Dogs. I forget what his name is. And you know what I'm talking. Mr. Blonde.
Yeah, Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen, yeah. And so there's a dead guy. And Ashton Kutcher's like, call 911. And he goes, no. And he goes, why not? He goes, that's no one's an emergency line. He's dead. There's no emergency. I always think about that sometimes, and I'm like, hey, he's got a good fucking point. There's not going to be any more dead if we call the ambulance. They're not going to come and revive him. So let's get into this topic here. So let's talk about
before we do. Happy birthday, David Lynch.
Happy birthday, David Lynch.
Oh, this will come out months.
You're watching this in a month and a half when this comes out. You'll know when we recorded it. It was January of the 20th, which is David Lynch's. It's also Tom Baker, the fourth Doctor's birthday. It's a good day for births.
Nice.
Two That's good guys.
Stark Doctor, right?
Yeah, they're both living somehow. David Lynch better put out some fucking shit before he dies. The old piece of garbage. I want to see. He needs to put out some more shit. Fucking my meme page is gonna run dry.
He can come out with nothing else ever again, and I'm sure that'll be fine.
He can. I think he will. I think it's in him to. He's got an itch. He's that kind of guy.
He's waiting for something. He's waiting.
He's waiting for probably. I mean, I don't know what happened with Netflix, but I'm glad it's just not on Netflix. Netflix sucks. Everything they touch is garbage.
I just got into Peaky Blinders. I like Peaky Blinders.
That's not a Netflix show. It was a BBC show.
That is.
It's a BBC show. It's on Netflix.
It became a Netflix
doesn't
original.
make it a Netflix show.
It is now a Netflix original.
For what, the 5th season or 6th season or what?
I think no. Actually, no. What am I saying? Netflix. No. The Peaky Blinders since season 1 has been a Netflix original.
Maybe Netflix, really?
Name, yeah. I think maybe it has BBC name attached to it, but
I mean, I don't know how that works.
It could be that. I would say
their content is 99% utter garbage.
A lot of it has been really shit, but what I'm watching is also kind of old shit too. So
I'd say the stuff I'm talking about. We're talking about the past 2 or 3 years. Anything beyond like 3 years ago has a 50-50 shot of being good.
Yeah.
Because like Daredevil was fucking great.
Daredevil was awesome.
And they did some other stuff that was good, and then they started putting out stuff like the one about the girl committing suicide and everybody thinking suicide's a really good idea. Whatever, stupid broad.
What is the
Riverdale? No, that's just a bad show in general. And that's the CW, which the CW is going out of business because they can't put out fucking a good show since Supernatural canceled. Supernatural went in this, and they don't know how to put out stuff. They just put out this garbage that nobody wants to watch. And they're up for sale. And I'm like, who the fuck's going to buy the CW?
Probably nobody. There's nothing they can really do with it.
Buy it and cancel everything.
Want to do with it? Yeah.
No one's watching Batwoman. I'm just telling you right now, no one's watching Batwoman.
That new Batwoman that's going to be in the Batman.
Terrible.
Not Batwoman. What am I saying? You said Batwoman. I was thinking Catwoman.
Oh no, Catwoman. I'm going to say this right now. Zoe Kravitz is one of the most attractive women in the world. I find her incredibly beautiful. I like her as an actress. She looks like Catwoman. We were over this. I think we were over this last week.
Yeah, we did talk about it. Yeah.
I really
shout out Zoe Kravitz.
I get a kick out of her. I think she'll do a good job.
Oh yeah, the movie just looks good all around.
It looks like a good movie. Yeah, Paul Dano in it.
Hell yeah, Paul Dano is underrated, I think.
Yeah, he's gonna be the Riddler.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he should go full Jim Carrey with it. Just be a real shtick.
I love that Jim Carrey Riddler.
It's so bad. It's the worst. It's everybody after
Batman and Robin's.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't mean he's actually the worst. He's just bad. With Schwarzenegger and his puns.
Yeah.
I get it. I use those all the time. I say them, no, put me in the cooler. Put your ice. I just love doing it. I just love saying it because it's a point in his career where he just looked at the money and was like, what the fuck ever? Who gives a shit?
Let's do it.
Let's do Mr. Freeze. But we're playing Mr. Freeze like he's Hugh Hefner, where he's got a robe on and
I think in celebration of Mr. Lynch's birthday tonight, though, my lady and I will be watching Blue Velvet and possibly Eraserhead.
Blue Velvet is my favorite David Lynch piece of media.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite movie he's done. I think it's his best. I think it's his best movie. It's not as weird, and so people were like, "Oh, I rate it lower because it's not as weird as Mulholland Drive," and I'm like, "Okay, fine."
It's still weird though. It's still so.
I think
everything that happens with it is so unconventional.
I think in that movie is his strongest narrative in a film.
Yeah.
He can do the esoteric and what does this mean, but that's a movie that actually has a plot.
Yeah, and it's a really good plot too.
Yeah, and it's
done really well.
It shows that he can do a cohesive, competent film with his style still fully intact and without any problem. Because I think Mulholland Drive was a fucking mess.
I mean, that's kind of a blanket statement for a lot of his movies.
Well, it wasn't even intended to be a movie, so it's obviously
because it was supposed to be a series. I know.
Yeah, I know. So it comes off as a pilot to a television show up until the last 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's just a messy. I love the movie. I think it's a really good movie. It's a very messy.
But it is messy. It is very messy.
And people were like, well, it's deliberate. And I was like, I don't think all of this is deliberate. I think it was an editing decision because he had to.
Yeah, I mean, isn't editing the main thing that matters at the end of it all?
You know what? I think that it's an underrated editing. I would say is the most underrated thing in a movie because nobody thinks about. They shoot 1 billion hours of film.
Yeah, I think editing makes or breaks a movie. It all depends on the editing at the end.
I go to a show like The Office, something like that, because I have people who like that. They would shoot hours and hours for one episode. But what will come out was 20 minutes. And
that's pretty wild.
And you think about all of this stuff that's like left on the cutting room floor, and that's just a television show, like a weekly television show. Think about it. I hope
they include that in some special features for some DVDs or something.
I don't know to any of that, but I don't think that I mean, that'd be you could probably do a super cut of whole fucking another 9 seasons or whatever.
Yeah,
they did with Anchorman. Do you remember Anchorman had a whole other movie?
Oh yeah, they had a whole like an hour and a half of
it was a whole separate film. Like so, you have all this. So editing can change a film dramatically into something that good or bad, or that's why you hear actors and you're like, well, how do they not know it was good? It's because they have no idea what's going to end up in the film.
Exactly. And also the editor can make like an actor look good or bad too.
Oh yeah, or gone. You're just gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Just completely cut them out.
I always think about Stanley Kubrick and George C. Scott when they did Dr. Strangelove. George C. Scott notoriously is not a comedian. So he would do these early takes and Kubrick would be like, well, do a funny take and we'll cut it and we'll edit it. So he did the funny takes, and those are the takes he put in the movie.
Okay.
So George C. Scott thought he was doing a serious war drama. So when he sat down to watch Dr. Strangelove in the theaters, he got up and fucking left because he was mad. So I'll never work with that asshole again.
Oh, wow.
So it totally changed the film for what he thought he was filming.
I know some stories behind that movie. I haven't actually seen Dr. Strangelove.
Never saw Dr. Strangelove. You damn fool.
I told you there's many gaps in my knowledge.
But it's a film that it's a comedy, it's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
But he thought he was filming a serious war film, and you go into it and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. So you're right. It changes the whole nature of a film.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So let's get into this topic here after Mr. Lynch's birthday. Happy birthday, David. If you're listening to this, which he does listen to our podcast. We get comments from Mr. Lynch all the time, don't we?
Yeah, he recommends it for before and after transcendental meditation.
That's right. After your 6-hour transcendental meditation and Sting's tantric sex workshop.
6 hours. No 6 hours of listening to this podcast. 20 minutes of TN.
We have that 6-hour. Never to be spoken of again, never to be seen. It is 6 hours. Someone will have to watch it one day and just wonder about what the hell happened to our brains right around hour 3.
Yeah, just being emotional wrecks, emotional.
No, emotional wreck was hour 5. We got very strange around hour 3. It's real weird. Start talking about real weird shit. And
I wish I remember.
This is what happens when we drink together.
I don't know if I'll be doing that again anytime soon.
No, well, we could just do normal watch through stuff.
I felt dark.
I got with DarkPeaks podcast,
Dark
baby.
Peaks, man. It was a very dark peak.
It might have been a crevasse,
Yeah.
So this is a general topic. This is things that we are passionate about, things that we enjoy, things that we just kind of want to talk about that didn't really fit in other categories. Because that was the idea.
I went into it thinking it was going to be books and like literature, because like you said, literature.
I
remember I talked about this too, though.
And I think it was we talked about it, but then we didn't talk about it again.
Yes, I think this list will be pretty loose, and someone will be making another one up.
This one's just things we enjoy, that we feel passionate about in some fashion, not necessarily anything that fits in someone else. Would you say that's fair? Necessarily.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And if it's cool with you, because I fucking am somewhat prepared, maybe we can just mention our whole list in one go, because I'd like to read off what I wrote actually, and it might not even make sense because I didn't even really read it before.
You want me to let you read
I wrote the whole thing like a weird
statement?
I don't know. It's something I ended up writing on my lunch break at work. So it feels like it's like really fractured thing that all belongs together, even though it's a whole list, you know.
Okay,
So,
I have quite a substantial list as well. So,
and also I only have 4 things on my list. So the 5th thing will have to be, you know, I'm gonna be winging it after I mention it.
I have some honorable mentions on here that are just general things. Let me do those, and then you can do your prepared statement, Mr. Senator. And then we'll go for that.
It might be cringy as fuck, dude. And honestly, I'm not looking forward to hearing you talk about it either. Because I mentioned a word on there that you don't want to hear.
The G what word is that? Huh? The G word?
Yeah, I non-religiously refer to God in a lot of this shit.
I'm not anti-God. I'm not anti-religion. I'm not
okay, good. Cool.
Do you think I'm an anti-religion?
No, I don't think
I'm a lapsed Catholic.
I'm being critical of how I feel about.
I've got all that guilt, all that God guilt weighing me down half the fucking day. Yeah.
So when I do refer to God in this thing, it's like non-religious. It's more so
to non-religious God. All those non-religious gods they have hanging around, you know.
Like whatever fucking... it is, man. Whatever. I don't know what it is. We'll see.
So I'll just go through these quick. These honorable mentions are not specific. These are general things that I enjoy that I couldn't pick one thing from. So I couldn't pick something specific. So I just picked these. These are just general honorable mentions that I wanted to, things that I really like. And, you know, there's only 3 of them and really have moved me in some ways over the year or, you know, so number 3 is Doctor Who.
Nice.
Long running British sci-fi, one of my favorite shows of all time, you know, waxes and wanes. It's got such wonderful moments. It's got these beautiful moments that make up for all the literal garbage in between them. It's funny, silly, exciting. It's emotional. It's heartfelt. You know, you find it if you get a right story, you get really sucked in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you get attached to those characters and the Doctor's companions.
And it's a testament to the show that it's been on since 1963. That, you know, and the recent seasons have done a lot of damage to the portrayal, and I feel bad because I like Jodie Whittaker, and the writing has done her really terrible. And I want to say, just in general, fuck anybody who has a problem with a female doctor. Like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's what they did with the whole story and what they did with the whole character.
It's bad. It's just bad writing.
But also, this is coming from me ignorantly because I haven't actually watched the new ones. I tried watching the first season with Jodie Whittaker, and it wasn't for me, dude. I couldn't enjoy it.
So some of the things that really stood out to me that when I think of is I just have a couple little things here. The second time I watched Rose getting sucked into the other dimension in Doomsday, I was watching it with an ex of mine, and we were drinking, and she's crying, and I'm crying, and she looks down, and we're at a chaser, and she goes, and we're at a chaser too, and just is done. Like she was fucking her whole day.
Tragedy upon tragedy.
Yeah. And I had to run down to the gas station and get to chase her. And I came back and she was just like crying. It was just a funny and a really good scene and a really great moment.
God, Peter, that killed
you yourself are familiar tearing up at that one, if I am correct.
With Rose and
going away,
David Tennant.
That's a hard one, man. That was not an easy scene.
My whole family, dude. Me, my daughter, and my lady, dude. We're all crazy about that one. Our favorite is Rose and David and Tennant.
I have a Rose and cross stitch, and it's just I liked her as a companion. A lot of people hated her because it was a romantic thing, but I don't know. She had a lot of heart.
I like romantic shit, so
it was just sappy enough to work for me on some like visceral level. Number 2,
how cute of you to admit that.
Peter Capaldi's speech in the Zygon inversion. One of my favorite speeches. I'm going to read a little excerpt from it. This is just a small piece of it.
Please do. Yeah, the accent too.
I'm not going to do a Scottish accent. I don't have a Scottish accent. I'm not going to do Peter Capaldi with that angry Scottish accent too.
Yeah, you can't. You don't have the eyebrows for it.
No, I don't pluck them. This is just what they normally look like. So I need to grow them out. I actually have pretty decent eyebrows for a guy. Not bad.
Yeah, I'd come on them.
That's where you do it. You want to get right around here because it gets in your hair. It's a mess, but you can get it right at eyebrows. You can use an eyebrow curler and just, So after my face was come on, he's talking about the Zygon and the people, the human beings, and he's talking about this is a scale model of war, every war ever fought, right in front of you, because it's always the same. When you fire that first shot, no matter how right you feel, you have no idea who's going to die. You don't know whose children are going to scream and burn, how many hearts will be broken, how many lives shattered, how much blood will spill, till everyone does what they're always going to have to do from the very beginning: sit down and talk.
Love it.
It's just, yeah, he was great. And I love Peter Capaldi from the thick of it. I guess he was in Suicide Squad. I didn't see that, but
yeah, he was in the new one. Yeah, he played Victor Zsasz, I think.
He did not play Victor.
I think.
Zsasz. No, he did
No,
not.
He did not play Victor Zsasz. He played someone that had something.
But he wasn't Victor Zsasz. I know that.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was my bad.
And moments with friends that I share with doctors. I've had a lot of friends, especially the Fourth Doctor. We would do a lot of acid and watch the Fourth Doctor because those 70s episodes were fucking made for watching acid.
Weird and trippy, right?
And like there's a lot of flashing lights and there's a lot of colors. And there's a lot of weird colors to make up for the poor sets. And there's a lot of like stilted stuff and the music is harsh. And I'm like, man, this is great. Like the Robots of Death is a like a 4 or 6 parter, and I watched that and I'm like, man, I'm fucked up. I'm real fucked up, and it's just great to like get fucked up. He's the Fourth Doctor was made to get fucked up too, and just spending time with friends and watching that stuff and just having a good time, and just I think about that a lot.
That's the Tom Baker one, right?
Yeah, that's 4. Okay. Yeah. Number 2 on this honorable mention, pro wrestling. Cool. I don't have any specific. I'm unabashedly pro wrestling fan since I was a kid. Hulk Hogan's, The Undertaker's, Bret Hart's, Roddy Piper's, Jake the Snake. My dad looks like Jake the Snake.
Oh, nice.
For better or for worse. I don't think I need to explain pro wrestling to our fans. There's something beautiful about the stupidity of it. It can be.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It can be serious. It can be brutal death match with glass and barbed wire, or hard hitting, or flippy dippy, and it can borderline art. You know what I mean? It's telling a story, and from these, you range from these larger than life people to people who are literal aliens to regular Joes to repo men. You know, you could be anything in a pro. There's so much about it to like, so much to distill, and I got a couple of little things about that. Owen Hart Bret Hart feud, something that I watched as a little kid, and I think it made me a huge fan. WrestleMania 10. Bret Hart's in the main event, but he's also in an opening match with his brother.
Oh, sure.
Because Owen's been demanding a match with Bret. I'm the better brother. You know what I mean? So fine. So they wrestle in the opening match of WrestleMania 10, and Owen beats Bret.
Oh, wow.
But at the end of it, Bret still wins the title because he's in the main event no matter what. So everybody comes out and they're lifting Bret on their shoulders, and the Macho Man opens the ropes up, and Owen comes down the aisle and he just stares at his brother. Like, it doesn't matter what I do, you're still better than me, and I beat you. And it's the storytelling, the visual storytelling of this, you know, him being raised high, Bret's raised high with the title, and his brother just staring at him, hating him. It's beautiful storytelling. Also the Golden Lover, the story of the Golden Lovers. Super Eye Patch Wolf did a video on the Golden Lovers. It's Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, and their friendship and rivalry that spanned about 10 years. I'm not going to get into it, but number 2, the Dusty Rhodes Hard Time promo, Jim Crockett Promotions, October 29th, 1985. One of the best promos in the history of professional wrestling. And I'm gonna read a little excerpt from it. This is gonna be a common thing. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. Should I do the Dusty Rhodes voice? Should I try it?
I say you should go for it.
Okay. I don't know if I can do the whole thing with Dusty Rhodes voice. So let me try it. I don't have to think about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There's no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work. They got 4 or 5 kids, can't pay the wages, can't buy the food. Hard times when the auto workers are out of work. They tell them, go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job for 30 years. And they give him a watch, kick him in the butt and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard times. That's hard times. And Ric Flair, he put hard times in this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard times. And we all had hard times together. I admit, I look like an athlete of the day. My belly's just a little big. My honey's just a little big. But, brother, I am bad. And they know I'm bad. They are 2 bad people. One was John Wayne, and he's dead, brother. And the other one is right here.
Oh, yeah, dude. You fucking nailed it.
I love it. I love
you're gonna have to cut that out and put it side by side with the actual promo. And that
I
has
listen
to,
to a
you
lot
have
of
to put
Dusty
that out.
Rhodes and yeah, I
That's
love
great,
it. I just
dude.
love him, just his passion and his honor, and he's talking about how he's like everyone else. You know what I mean? And it's silly and it's fantastic, and it's just what it's about. And for the last part of the person one, there's two guys that I really love, Kazuchika Okada and Misawa Misawa, two of my favorite wrestlers in the whole world ever. I think Misawa was the best wrestler in the world. He died in the ring, 2009. A bad backdrop broke his neck, killed him in the ring, dead. He's sorely missed. And Okada is the best wrestler in the world today by a long shot. For number one of my honorable mentions, Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby, I've talked about Jack before. And the reason he is on the main list because I couldn't think of one thing that he did that I could pick out. Jack was a veteran, a cigar smoker. He had a brain like you wouldn't believe. He created some of, if not the most well-known comic book characters of all time. X-Men, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, The Fourth World, She-Man, The Eternals, Black Panther. All him. He is in the American zeitgeist. And if you look at Marvel's success, the world of cinema, for better or worse, it's from Jack. You know what I mean? And he also, we talk representation now, but he created the first Jewish heroes, the first Black heroes. He thought representation was important. He thought that everyone should be able to pick up a comic and see someone like them that had values that they had. That was important to him. As far as Jack goes, Captain America is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. I have a Captain America shield. I have a helmet. I've got the whole spiel. I wear it sometimes when I'm in private, and no one can judge me. And he embodies the ideal of America that we no longer have. You know what I mean? I was thinking about the moments with Captain America when they're like, "Oh, you're a soldier," and he says, "No, I follow the dream. I don't follow politicians." And everything else that Jack has done, he influenced my life a lot. The people I enjoy, the media I enjoy, the memories, the conversations I have with friends and family. I used to run a comic shop. I used to visit them frequently, and Jack would come up a lot. He doesn't get the credit or love that he truly deserves, and it's heartbreaking to me to hear that. They called him the king of comics, so I say fuck Elvis. Jack Kirby was the real king.
There you go.
That's my honorable mentions. This is just general, things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to read your prepared statement, Mr. Senator?
I guess, man, and feel free to interject in any point of it. I'm thinking, you want to talk a little bit about each thing
Yeah, why don't we try to do that a little bit? Let's have a little fun.
We'll try, rather than a seamless read off.
Oh, butt stuff, just the various kinds of butt stuff on there.
So yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's just so a lot of what I was thinking about when we were going into this, like I said, was I thought it was going to be like more so books and stuff like that. So when we talked today, it kind of helped me understand more.
Well, I apologize for the misunderstanding.
No. It's you're all good. I'm happy with what my list consists of right now. So first thing on there is Nick Cave, The Secret Life of the Love Song, and The Flesh Made Word. Those are two lectures that are released on the CD. But here's what I wrote for that. A recognition of the things and events that had to happen in order for these godlike moments of expression to come out in one way or another. The traumatic experience is a door for which the light of God can shine through, so you can bring as many personal justices to your trauma as you see fit or necessary, and possibly do the same to the traumas of others.
Can you speak up just a little tiny bit?
Yeah.
That's the non-denominational God, right?
Yes. There's every fucking
non-religious
God reference is totally non-religious and open to everyone's own interpretation, whatever.
There's those atheists with their non-religious God.
Yeah. All right, let me try reading that again, and with a louder
from
voice.
The diaphragm, boy, from the diaphragm.
All right. A recognition of the things and events that have to happen in order for these godlike moments of expression to come out in one way or another. The traumatic experience is a door for which the light of God can shine through, so you can bring as many personal justices to your trauma as you see fit or necessary, and possibly the traumas of others. It's an invitation to throw out lifelines in your moments of desperation. The moves you make when the steam runs out and the struggle for survival weigh in have the potential to be truly remarkable.
That's quite beautiful, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I've listened to those lectures a couple of times, and basically he's just talking about what he thinks about when he's writing a love song. It's something that truly made a big impression on me when I first listened to it.
I come back to the first one a lot more than the second, but personally.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the first one is the majority of it. You know, it's like 48 minutes of that, and I think 13 minutes of the other one.
I come back to it a lot more and just put it on, and I'm like, I get something out of it. You know, every time I hear something different.
Exactly, and you know, he's talking about what all these songs that mean so much to us, and what makes a love song. They all have this thing called duende. You know, have you heard of that?
What did you say? What was the word?
It's called duende. Duend.
That sounds familiar. It's like a
It's the I think the textbook definition of it is an act of passion, something done with passion. You know,
anything with passion is art.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's talking about how that's needed in all these love songs, and how there's songs that pose themselves as love songs, but they're not real, they're evil.
Nick should know all about that one,
huh? Yeah, absolutely. That's just one thing.
I like that. That's quite good. Yeah, you had a good interpretation of.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the stuff that I list on here it mentions things that finding God within your art form. And I think that's one thing that Nick is able to do with his.
Let's explore that statement. Finding, when you say God, since you're talking in a non-religious way, do you mean finding the soul of it? You finding the heart of it? Do you mean, what do you mean when you say that?
I suppose I mean a personal sense of peace and understanding with the world. I think that's really all I can, everything making sense. And
because people could hear, oh, you find God in that, and that's open to wide interpretation of what that could possibly, I hear that and I think you're finding the soul of it, the heart of it, the thing that makes it mean the most to you. It clicks on all those levels.
It's the thing that affirms life.
Okay.
So that's another definition, I think, maybe.
Affirming of life. All right.
Life affirming.
Yeah. Like a good brandy.
Yeah, sure. Because brandy will stimulate a good conversation, and God will reveal itself in a good conversation, right?
Wait, there's something to be said for a good conversation. That's why we did this podcast.
Yeah.
And some, not to compare it to Nick Cave's romantic thing, but we were having these great conversations online, and it was such of a waste to have them be confined to DMs of a fucking Instagram.
It's funny that I think that's a thing for a lot of friends these days. Like, anybody having a good conversation, like, should we be recording this? I mean,
we'd be recording this, and do anybody want to listen to it? And we get an okay, viewership for something that's not anything. And this isn't anything. So
yeah, it's like the Seinfeld podcast.
I don't want to get sued by Seinfeld podcasts. Those Seinfeld podcasts, those motherfuckers, they take it Seinfeld very seriously.
Really?
They take it more seriously than we take Twin Peaks. That's for damn sure.
Probably.
But there's something to be said. There's something to be said that we found something in just a simple conversation that was worth exploring. But we affirmed the lives of two people who don't have a lot of friends. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, no, it's true.
As a friendship and as something that we can entertain and enjoy. I think you can find that in anything if you do it right.
Yeah, if you do it right.
If you do it right. We're not, but we're still finding something. I get something out of this. I get an enjoyment.
I absolutely get something out of this.
You get. I know whenever we're done here, you get rock hard, and you have to go pleasure your lady.
To rub one out.
It's ridiculous. It tells me all about it. It tells me these pictures of. Well, he takes his boner pill about halfway through it. He gets them from Peaks in the Hall. They trade them. They snort them off each other's erect boners. What you can do.
I'm sure. But you said you don't really care much for. I don't know. But you said you don't care much for the second part of the lecture, right?
No, I just don't listen to it as much. I just don't. It doesn't. By the time I'm there, I'm like, whatever.
I sometimes wish it was explored a little bit more because it's kind of, it's pretty short. I think it's only like a 15-minute segment. But
that's the thing is I just don't listen to it as much because by the time I want to listen to it, I've already listened to something else by him that.
It's weird, dude. It makes me want to actually read the Bible.
I've read it. I wouldn't recommend it.
I know, but I think because of the way he was able to place it, his view of it and his point of view, I think I don't know. I really liked what he took out of it.
There are selected things from it that are very interesting and very compelling. You might want to stick to the 3 or 4 interesting things and avoid all the this guy beget that guy and the ton of rape that happens.
Yeah.
Just the thing.
He acknowledges that when he's talking about it, it's like, especially in the Old Testament,
Oh, the
crazy fucked up shit that happens.
The Jew God, the Old Testament Jew God, he's not a happy fella. Not a happy fella about anything.
Yeah.
And even the people that are the positive people in there, they're gonna wander in the fucking desert for 40 years. Fuck you, man. I'm not wandering in the fucking desert for 40 years with a bunch of complaining assholes. They're complaining. That's ridiculous. So those are the people that are the positive people. And then a bunch of flood in a boat, getting on with a bunch of animals. You ever go into a house and there's too many cats?
Oh yeah, I've been to a few.
Imagine that boat, what it smells like. It's disgusting.
Just piss.
Just piss and shit and cum and blood. That's the Noah's Ark I want to see.
I like the connection that Nick makes with Old Testament God and Jesus and New Testament. I'm speaking very ignorantly about this. I haven't read the fucking Bible and know nothing about these stories. Very little. And also I'm not religious, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, Jesus was a very positive. He was a very, hey, let's, don't be a piece of shit. I'm also going to change your name. I'm going to get in fights with guys at church. He was like a guy from Boston.
Yeah. That's a totally a valid way to put it, I guess. What the fuck?
He was a little bit, he had a chip on his shoulder, man, But overall, his message was, try to be your best, try to do your best. You're going to fuck up sometimes. And because you fucked up so bad, I'm going to go ahead and die, and you're going to feel really bad about it.
Yeah, and I think if you listen to it, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like Nick refers to that as a correction to I don't know if he said correction, but a correction.
I think he did say correct. I think he did say correction.
A correction to the Old Testament God and his cruel ways. I
agree with that because it's a radical different take on God.
Yeah, and he ends the whole thing with I believe saying God is useless without the vessel of man to carry out his art.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, even down to the base level of we created the deities to give us a moral code. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're probably losing so many people with the God talk, and I swear I mean
I think there's nothing wrong with discussing. We're not talking about the religious. We're talking about a non-religious God.
Yeah, non-religious God.
I just get a kick out of it every time. I've never heard someone say that.
Is that very oxymoronic?
I've never heard someone say it before. I've never heard it put like that. The non-religious God.
I think people will get a better grasp of it as we go down the list.
It's not a non-religious God. It's God as a sense of moral proportion, on however you want to put that. You know what I mean? It's not like Nick is talking about the Judeo-Christian God, but we're talking about the concept of God. We're not talking about any particular.
No, that's okay. That's where you're wrong, though. I think he's saying that he's in a literal sense. He's talking about
in the literal sense. He's talking about the Judeo-Christian.
But he translates that to the artful artistic.
Yes.
God
but I mean, he is talking about when he's talking about it. He's saying that he took from the Judeo-Christian God and he took that and made it something that he he made something different out of.
You're right.
But he's still very
I
much
misunderstood you.
talking about biblical God.
It's derived from that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what we're sort of talking about, the same sort of idea where we're taking whatever you want to believe. I was raised a horrible Catholic, and that's why I'm a terrible atheist. I don't know what you.
I was raised Muslim, but I mean, I didn't learn anything about it. I wasn't taught anything.
I've been trying to.
I couldn't eat pork, and I couldn't do certain stuff. I guess I don't know.
I'm trying to fast Mondays and Thursdays.
Like not eat at all.
Yeah, like for Allah, you're supposed to fast Mondays and Thursdays.
Is that Mondays and Thursdays? I don't know.
Mondays.
You're a better Muslim than I am.
I am one felt swoop. I am a better Muslim than the guy. Wow. Yeah. Yes.
Mondays. This is something I fucking called myself, until I got older and could think for myself a little bit, which I can barely still do now.
Well, I enjoy religion. I enjoy reading about religion. I enjoy because it's it's very much about people and proportion and what the ideas were at the time when it was created.
Absolutely. Let me go down the next thing.
Go ahead and go on the next one.
Yeah. So next thing would be one of my favorite books, a book by this guy named Rob Sheffield. It's called Love is a Mixtape, Life and Loss, One Song at a Time.
I am unfamiliar with that.
You should definitely check it out.
Rob Sheffield, you're saying?
Yeah, Rob Sheffield.
Okay. I'll check him out.
I don't know if he still does. He used to write for he used to be a journalist for Rolling Stone. Would do music reviews.
There's no journalists anymore.
Yeah, definitely not journalism, that's for sure. But he used to write some great music.
It's a dead fucking
interviews.
Yeah. BuzzFeed killed it, and then Vice feasted on its corpse.
Let's see. A sweet and heartbreaking and genuinely written book that goes into the power that music has to carry life across and how music sets itself in many moments in our lives, which act as a bookmark to access the memories associated with that time and experience. Each chapter starts with the track list of a particular mixtape and how the mixtape is involved with what's involved in the chapter. With what's happening in the chapter. Sorry.
I like that. It's a presentation, just not to cut you up, but I really like that. I like that.
Yeah.
The track list thing. That's very
it's
compelling.
Great, dude. It's cool. Yeah. It's really cool.
So did you when you read it, did you put on the songs? Or did you
No, I didn't put on the songs. I already knew a lot of the songs that were on there. So
I just wonder how the experience would be if you were to
I would listen to songs that had the potential to be on the said mixtape that's mentioned on that chapter, something that there's a lot of pavement. Yeah, the theoretical mixtape. Well, no, actually this is it's all nonfiction. This is all a personal account of what really happened with this guy's life. So as far as the story goes, Rob Sheffield, it's about him and his wife. It's terrible. I can't remember the name of the character. Not a character.
Rob Sheffield Jr.
Renee, I think.
Renee Sheffield.
Renee Sheffield, something. But anyways, beautiful, happy married couple. They're obsessed with music. Pavement's their favorite band, and one day his wife just gets a brain aneurysm and just collapses and dies.
She's just dead.
Just out of nowhere, just dies, and he's just fucked up about it. So obviously, but I mean, it explores how music and all these mixtapes and the memories they hold, it gives you insight into his life with Renee and after, and how it all got him through and everything. And it's just it's obviously been too long since I've read it.
I really like that. I really like the sound of that.
You should definitely get it, dude.
Because there's a lot of things I can relate to in that.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's why
I also had an aneurysm in my carotid artery when I was 2.
Oh shit, really?
And I died, so I get it.
Jesus.
And they took me to my mom took me to the hospital. They said something's wrong, and they said get him to the goddamn ER right now. And I turned blue, and that was it.
Oh my god.
So right in the carotid. So I get it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I lost a significant other. So I mean, there's a lot I can get behind there.
I think for that reason, for sure. I mean, check it out too. I mean, it can get heavy in that subject, I'm sure, but I'm sure you understand that.
I really, you're gonna have to send me the title of that when we're done here. Like, just text me because that's.
I will.
Absolutely.
I
would love to read that. That sounds really good.
And he has 2 other books too, which are also nonfiction, which are also really good. But it's set in the 90s mostly, so it's got a lot of great music.
I was also alive in the 90s, so there's something else I can relate to.
Same.
Got a lot. This Rob guy's got a lot going on for us, huh?
I found that book when I was trying to find the high fidelity novel.
That's a terrible novel.
I like the novel too. I like Nick Hornby. He's one of my favorite writers. It's easy.
Oh, you like easy reading? I'll give you.
I don't mind.
Some of Ava's books you can fucking muscle through them.
Hey man, give me Lester's favorite color.
What's your boy's favorite color?
I don't think he has a favorite color.
Doesn't have a favorite color? You sure?
Yeah.
Have you ever asked him?
Anything. I asked him, but he always mentions all the colors.
Oh, it's all the colors.
Just like Lester.
Like
Lester's favorite color
all the colors.
All the colors.
All the color. Doesn't that just make brown?
I think so. So
you put them all together.
Yeah.
Brownish haze.
Yeah. Anyways, next thing on my list.
Next thing
is gonna be the Before trilogy. So Before Sunrise,
what?
Before trilogy.
Okay.
From Richard.
I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so yeah, Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight.
I'm
You've
familiar
seen
with those.
all 3 of them?
Yeah.
I love those movies too. So
I think that they are a lot better than they get credit for sometimes. They kind of get shit on a little bit nowadays, I feel like.
What do they say about them when they're shitting on it?
Just that they're
like pretentious.
I don't know that I've heard that I could think of a review. I've heard like cheap and pretentious and overbearing, and I'm like, I could see some merit to pretentious, I guess, but I even think that they're not that pretentious.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's perfect. I love those movies. So when I wrote
a good trilogy that you don't hear a lot of people talk about.
Yeah, it's not your typical trilogy,
No, it's not.
It's very
people always talk about what trilogy people talk about. The Star Wars trilogy. I don't like
the Godfather trilogy.
The Godfather trilogy. There's only 2 good movies in that whole fucking trilogy.
Yeah, part 3 was okay.
Part 3 was fucking terrible.
I mean, it wasn't.
Do you like one? Do you like 1 or 2? Do you like 1 or 2 better?
Okay, so I have a weird answer to that. I really love watching the Godfather novella. Have you ever seen it in that like that version of it or no?
No, I've not.
So what it is, it puts the 2 movies together, but it plays it
in chronological order.
Chronological order. So you get all the crazy Italy stuff first thing.
Oh, I like that. I'll get that. I'm gonna go ahead and download that. I'm gonna find it.
You gotta fucking watch it in that way. It's something that I would watch on cable. They would have that on like AMC and shit.
I have a lot of that. I'm on a lot of fan edit sites that do stuff like that. I'll just get one of their. They probably have a better version than the real one.
Maybe. Who knows?
People take the time, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because it's always a passion project when it comes to things like that. I'm excited to do that with the Fire Walk with Me.
Oh yeah, I gotta send you that. I gotta figure out how to send you that. Maybe I'll mail you. I'm gonna like mail you a flash drive or something. I'm gonna have. I
should get like a Google Drive account and all that shit, so I can like get that stuff.
I have a OneDrive. I'll see if I can put it on there.
I think I have OneDrive. I'll
you know what? Yeah, look into it because it comes free with. I think it's free with everybody's Microsoft Windows.
I think I set it up when I opened the laptop.
So I'll see if I can get it to you that way.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Before trilogy: Ethan Hawke, Julie Delpy, love him. Here's what I wrote about it. God, this is already cringy. I'm looking at it. Life, like love, is full of the small moments and conversations that carry with it the most weight and have the capacity to make the biggest impressions in our lives and minds. An experience of something so truthful, genuine, and wondrous. 2 people truly in the moment and not wanting to be anywhere else. Nothing is forced and nobody needs any convincing. It's a fleeting beauty that has potential for many returns. So.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thanks.
That's a good interpretation. That's a good
I struggled in
interpretation.
to read them though.
Well, I would say reading is not your strong suit. You seem like you need glasses.
I do because my son broke my glasses 2 years ago, and my dumbass hasn't gotten.
Can you just
new
get
glasses.
cheaters? Do you think, or is it just for reading? Or
I know I can't read small print.
yeah,
So
I'm as blind as a
I
fucking dog.
I legally need him for driving.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Thankfully, I also don't have a license, so I don't give a shit.
yeah.
I'm still driving. They ain't gonna eat shit. Fuck, what are they gonna fucking do? Oh, it's better to not have a license and just get pulled over and pay the fine than pay for the fucking license.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess. But anyways, dude, one of my favorite things about that is just all the writing. Every conversation that's had in those movies, all three of those movies, is something that you see God in. God revealing itself in a conversation between these two.
The non-religious God.
The non-religious God, yeah.
It's about the only thing I think I like Ethan Hawke in. I'll be honest with you.
You don't like Ethan Hawke?
I don't. No, I like Ethan Hawke. I don't like him in a lot. I can't think of a lot of things that I really
Okay,
like him
gotcha.
in. Like,
there's a lot of stuff I like him in.
I just can't think of it. Can you name me some good Ethan Hawke projects?
Yeah, I liked him in that movie Boyhood. He was awesome in Training Day. I haven't seen him in anything that I haven't liked him in.
I don't dislike him in anything.
And
I can't think
of course, fucking Troy Dwyer, fucking Reality Bites.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think he's great in anything. I think he's all right. Because Training Day, he was certainly not great in Training Day. Denzel was great in Training Day.
But Denzel was amazing in Training Day.
He stole
that
fucking
show
movie.
On Showtime. There's a show on Showtime that's supposed to be really fucking good.
Is it?
I think it's
he's not a bad actor. I don't think of when I think of a good movie, I don't think of, hey, let's put Ethan Hawke in it.
Yeah,
he's not the guy that I would put in it.
He has some cool, kind of like cool, folky country tunes that I don't know if you ever listened to.
I have actually. I think he's a multi-talented guy. He definitely is interesting, and he's a very nice person. I think he was. I think this trilogy was the best thing that I've ever seen him in, acting wise.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on that for sure.
Yeah. I would point to that and go, if someone was like, "What's a good Ethan Hawke movie?" I'd be like, "Well, there's three movies." Like that'd be the only thing I can think of, and maybe Training Day. Reality Bites. I haven't seen that in a long time either.
I love that fucking movie, dude. I made one meme for Reality Bites. That's one of my.
I remember. And did it go over well?
I think it got like 300 something, but like it's one of those things that like it's not gonna get a whole lot, but like if for people that really love that movie and love Twin Peaks, like,
what's a movie that I would like to explore? Strange Days. I fucking love Strange Days.
Why does that sound so familiar?
It's got the guy who was Voldemort. I forget his name. Ray Fiennes. It's about 1989. It's like a better version of The Matrix.
Man, I don't think I remember it.
It's a goddamn good movie. You
ever seen Waking Life?
Yeah.
You remember Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy showing up as their before trilogy characters in that?
Yeah.
How fucking great was that?
You know what? That's another one I need to read. Maybe I'll have an Ethan Hawke day to myself.
That's cool.
Watch all the good Ethan Hawke movies, and so after that hour is done, I'll do something else with my day.
That sounds good. But yeah, dude, that's I love those movies. The Ford trilogy captures an amazing fleeting beauty that, like I said in what I wrote, has
a fleeting beauty. I like that fleeting beauty, the way you use that.
Well, because dude, I mean, it's imagine. I agree. That's why being that stimulated all the time, like always that romantic. Like it's might be a little much, man.
I think I'd probably kill myself. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I mean, not just like in a sense of annoyance or anything like that. I would say like just it's an onslaught on the emotions to always feel that, and it's you want to. Let me ask you a question. You want to appreciate.
Have you ever pined? Are you a piner?
Can you define that for me?
Okay. So you've yearned, which is an incredible desire to want, but pine, for me, is an incredible desire to want emotionally. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, I've yearned. I've yearned
for
for a lot of things. I've yearned for a chicken wing. I've yearned for a woman. I've yearned for a good cigar, crack, pined. This is a hard. That's a big one. You pine. That's a
what if like, give me examples of what you've pined for.
women. Most of just women.
Well, yes, I suppose same to them. I guess. I don't know.
You know, but
I'm an emotional guy, man, and I got many emotional attachments. So I suppose I would say I pine for a lot.
Yeah, you're a piner.
A piner.
You're a piner. I see. I've only pined a couple of times, and it's a rare treat that I pine. You know,
I think a lot of my personality is based off of pining for something I don't even know, but feeling that I can never have it.
Personality is based off of romance of the mid '90s.
Yeah, I think you're right.
and what I mean by that is that's not an insult to you, because you're not the first person I've met that like
no. There's a certain type of person that likes this shit. You romance. Does that make sense? Yeah.
You like the idea of romance.
Yeah.
You have a romantic heart, a heart that yearns, you know? I think it's something to be said for that. It's very nice. It's very, it's very sentimental.
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect way you can describe me too.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with reading people.
Yeah.
Supposed to talk to you every
I'm an open book, motherfucker.
Supposed to talk every day, so it's kind of easy to be like, I get it.
It's easy to read me.
But I think I think it's nice. It gives you a sense of people like it because they see in your work, you use these, you're very flowery, and you use these very nice, I hope everybody's doing good. I can all eat goddamn shit. Like my shit. Move the fuck on. Get away from me. Can't goddamn stand it.
I like to put the loving message out there.
Yeah, you put a loving message. I'm gonna start putting loving messages in my shit. Yeah. They're real weird with it.
I like to just keep the love and just keep it at that. Putting the message out there, and that's it.
I can't fucking do it. I get so fed up with shit. And then I make like weird sappy memes at 4 a.m. about everybody.
I love those, dude. Those are some of my favorites of yours.
I remember making any of those. I
know everybody else loves them too. I think people like seeing the camaraderie of everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's good you do that, because I haven't even done one of those in a long time too. So.
I do. I'll be looking at something and I'm like, that's kind of funny, and then I just show people's face on. And it's the easiest thing to do. It takes me 5 minutes to do it, but like I think I get a kick out of it, and I think it's a nice community, and we all deserve to know that I could shit on all of you all the time.
Thanks. Equally, you hate everybody. All right. Next on the list.
Is this your last one?
Well, this is the last one that I have written down. I'm still the fifth one. I'm gonna wing off after
Okay, so you're gonna do this one, then you let me do a couple, then you'll do if you can think of one.
I think I already have one picked.
Okay, go ahead and just run right through it.
Yeah, running right through it, and then you can run right all through yours.
Then we let the star of the show come on.
Huh?
Then we let the star of the show talk after that. Me, star of the show.
I was trying to be angry, but yeah.
You can't. You got a goofy face. You can't be angry.
I know it's a very goofy face.
Yeah, you would need a turban to look angry. You know? There it is. Have a sword or something. You're like Nandor the Relentless.
Oh, what's the curved sword? I need the curved sword, right? The Lawrence of Arabia sword.
Yeah,
I forgot what they're called too.
I forget. They're cool. They're cool looking though.
All right. So the fourth, last thing I have written, but the fourth thing on my list is Warren Ellis, Nina Simone's gum.
So, I want to talk about that with you after this stuff, though. I want to talk about it.
That's fine. That's totally fine. I think we can save that.
Because I want to have a discussion with you about that, because I have a lot to say about it after I go through my shit.
That sounds good. Okay, so we'll talk about that then. Could I read what I wrote about it? Then we'll discuss it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. All right. A collected understanding that this piece of chewing gum is an item of beauty and importance that deserves preservation. Preserving the passion, the respect, and the forces of creativity, along with the feeling of shock, power, and transcendence and transformation that surround the gum as its previous owner brought new life to herself and to her audience. God shines down on us in many moments, and I simply like to believe that there is no anger or resentment that God has held for us when we miss Him. God is simply there to show up in whatever form that is needed and holds a promise of forward and graceful movement as we pass by or pass through.
The non-religious God.
Yes, again with that shit. Sorry.
I like it. No, I get what you're going for. I get what you mean.
Yeah,
I think that's a very, and unfortunately,
that's why I wanted to read it all, just because it kind of
there's a you had a flow that was you were trying to go for with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
it ended up being like a writing project.
You read that right off the side of the book. It was right off the side of the book. You read that right off the side of the book, everybody. He didn't write that. It was right on the opening page of the book. I have the book right here. If you open it up, it's written right there what he just said. So that's plagiarism. No.
Fuck, dude. I thought it because I thought it was
it's
like
not even close.
really
I don't think
dangerously
anything's
close to
written
what
on the
was
side
written
of
on there.
I don't think there's anything written in the inside of the book. Is there?
I mean, there's just that.
It's just like that's just the general,
general thing of it.
Yeah.
But I think it touches on what's mentioned on there, but it doesn't necessarily,
No.
It's not the exact same thing.
I have a lot I want to say about. I've got some feelings
we're going to talk
about it.
That for sure. So, moving on to the fifth thing on my list, the book I read before Nina Simone's Gum, History of Bones by John Lurie. So the John Lurie memoir, and that's something that what I've been saying.
Do you say memoir or memoir?
Memoir.
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 It's a memoir.
Like John Malkovich.
It's John Malkovich. Yeah.
Memoir, whatever. But the whole thing that I've been saying about finding God through your art form, that's something that I got from John Lurie, because I heard him say that, and I heard him say that on, I think, the Mark Maron podcast.
Okay. I've heard that. Mark Maron.
Yeah. So
I can't stand Mark Maron, but I like John Lurie.
You don't like Mark Maron? I love Mark Maron.
He's okay. He's not funny.
You don't think he's funny?
I don't think he's funny. No.
Oh,
even he's not like unfunny. I like him better as an actor than I do as a comedian.
Yeah, you've heard a lot of his stand-up, right?
Yeah, it's not that funny.
Oh man, okay. Not your thing.
I didn't like his show either.
I loved his show, dude.
I don't know what. Maybe I need to come. It's been a couple of years since I've listened to anything besides this podcast. Maybe I need to go back and revisit some Mark Maron. That maybe my lifestyle has changed, and I may have a different opinion. Maybe.
I think when would you say you're happier now than you were in the past?
I've never been happy. What the no. Not happy.
Okay, Demon.
Hey.
Okay, Demon.
Happy fucking over here. I wouldn't call myself particularly.
I'm miserable. I want everyone to be miserable.
Why can't I be miserable? Why does it have to be a gimmick? I just want to be miserable sometimes. I wake up and I'm a bit of a curmudgeon and I'm a bit grumpy, and people go, "Oh, it's a bit of a shtick." No, the shtick was because I was pissed off all the time. I just leaned into it. Now I'm allowed to be a dick to everybody because no one cares. Before it's, that guy's being a dick. Now it's always just being a demon. No, I just let me be upset about life sometimes, and I'm not particularly happy with it. Yeah, don't judge me. You're over there talking about a non-religious God and weeping your eyes out at a Sarah McLachlan song. You piece of shit.
All right, buddy. You good?
You know what I learned from John Lurie? Chicken fish.
Chicken. We just got them chicken fish
from Chicago. Chicken fish. I believe there's probably chicken fish in Chicago.
Oh my god! You know what, dude? I'm gonna watch Fishing with John again, and we're gonna do more Fishing with John memes.
We didn't do any. That was from.
We're gonna make some.
Somebody else. I forget.
We're gonna open it.
Who did that one? Was it Mullet Peaks? Maybe
that was Mullet Peaks. I wish he would post more because I love what he posts.
That guy's great.
I love that shit.
And he's funny. He's genuinely funny. There's a couple of people that I think in the community are actually, some of their stuff's funny, but some people that you talk to them and they're funny. He's funny. 30 Rock with Me or whatever is actually really funny.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't he do stand up?
Yeah, he does stand up. David something. I don't fucking know his name is.
Buy me a hot dog.
Peaks in the Hall is actually really funny to talk to, and he's like me. He's really mean spirited, but he won't post anything mean on his page. But he'll say mean stuff to me about people.
It's like what I do. I say all my
you are the nicest fucking you don't say anything that mean. Even your mean stuff's not that bad.
I guess I still haven't just told you any of the mean thoughts that I have. I still haven't brought myself to telling you.
You've told me some, but even your mean thoughts are like they're like 1/10 of my mean.
I must still be holding back.
Must
still be holding.
Because I've talked to you about shit, and you're like, well, then you're like, I feel bad for making fun of that person. And I'm like, man, don't fucking feel bad about.
No, you know what? One thing that I'm gonna do, for sure, I'm gonna do different is if I see, when someone reposts my shit, I'm not gonna fucking leave a comment anymore. I'm gonna fucking put a message, dude. I'm not gonna put it on blast and shit. Like I leave. That's just playing a whole gotcha thing. Like I'm not trying to do that.
I like to leave messages because it's funnier that way.
Well, no, I'm saying because I do want to call out the person, but I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it publicly anymore. Because you've seen the posts that I've done that too, and I'm like, maybe that's not the best thing to do. Maybe I should just.
Well, I think it's fantastic to do it. Fuck them.
Yeah, it sucks and everything. They suck for doing it, but still, I'm not. It makes it look like I'm trying to do like a whole gotcha thing.
This is what we're talking. This is what we're talking about. Look at this. Even people who are literally fucking you, and you're like, I don't want to hurt their feelings.
That's just not the kind of thing that I do. That's just not the kind of thing that I want to do.
Even your mean stuff's not that mean. It's kind of friendly.
Yeah. Well, I think it's civil.
Civil. The fuck is that mean? Civil. Civil is an agreement between parties that we're all going to be on the same fucking page. We are not all on the same page, friend. Even your mean shit. This is nice. If we're talking about being mean, you're like, I'm gonna be meaner. You know what I'm gonna do? It's meaner. I'm gonna be more polite about people stealing my stuff.
No, I was supposed to be the thing that I was like, oh, actually, no, you're right. I'm not that mean because check this out. Here's something that I want.
Certainly not. No. Jesus. You ever been in a fight?
No.
I wouldn't recommend it for you.
I wouldn't want it. I mean, I will be quick to get in one if I have to.
Yeah.
But I've luckily been able to avoid
you got upset one time because you yelled at a guy, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. That's when I
you were all upset about it. You were real upset. I felt bad that you were upset. I genuinely felt that you were genuinely upset.
I think I cried because of the whole situation of where it was. It was at the pound or the animal services place where my cat, where I was just waiting for my cat, who was
you were having a hard moment.
I was having a rough time.
I yell at people all the time. I'm at Walmart. I'm yelling at people. I'm driving. I'm yelling at people. I yell at people all the time.
You fucking feel good after doing that though?
I don't feel any way about anything.
So why you want to do that though? Well, you obviously feel an anger.
Yeah, it's a general agitation. It's not about anybody particular. I'm not mad at them. They're just my fucking way. I had Ava throw a jar of pickles at a lady one time.
Oh shit.
I was like, oh, here's a lady was right behind me in her cart. It was right on my ass. I said, Ava, hold this. And I pointed at the lady. She chucked it at her cart, broke all over her cart. And I walked away. I said, lady spilled something over there.
Oh my God.
Get the fuck away from me. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Jesus. Fucking overreactor, dude.
That's not an overreactor. Get the fuck away from me.
Shut the fuck up.
I go shopping. I go grocery shopping at like 8:00 in the morning. So no one's there. I cannot fucking handle it. I hate it. Well,
see, you're smart. You're going at the time where no one's there.
Yeah. Or I do like the pickup thing because the people are so nice. Yeah. Guy calls me sir.
That's better.
The only time anybody calls me sir outside of the bedroom. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
We're talking
about John Laurie.
I don't know what happened. Anyways, here's another guy who fucking put all his passion and all of his art that he explored. He put all his passion into his music, put all his passion into his painting, which he didn't really talk about much in the book, but That's fine. It's
he doesn't really talk about painting even when he's painting.
yeah, even
Like,
painting
he
with
never
John,
really
it's all,
discusses the process of painting. He just talks about something else.
yeah.
Which is kind of, I never thought about it till you said that. But watching his shows, I watched both of his shows, and he doesn't really talk about painting that much.
Yeah, I'm excited for that second season whenever it comes out.
Is it coming out? Is there a second season coming out?
Yeah, it was announced like last year sometime.
That's
so
what
I know it's coming
I
out for
heard
sure.
it like 2 years ago when they announced it, or whenever it was. It's probably because of the, the whatever COVID thing. It's not, has not been going on. I don't know to that. That delayed everything,
Yeah, it fucking
delayed gratification.
It fucked everything. Yeah.
So I'm getting sick of it. Are you sick of it yet?
I've been sick of it, dude, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's so fucking no.
I don't want you to have to apologize for COVID after this.
Huh? I'm not fucking apologizing for COVID. Fuck you. You think I'm being that nice?
To COVID because you hurt their feelings.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You should apologize to me.
Wouldn't that be nice? If you got a little thing in the mail, a little apology card.
A little card in the shape of the actual COVID with the spikes, the spike protein. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Sleepy Joe's not going to send us any more money, so you can send us apology cards.
Yeah.
In lieu of $2,000 that I owe you per month, here's a personalized apology.
Anyways, enough of that shit. But yeah, man, it's just another guy that's trying to find God through his art form.
You said you got. What did he say that sparked? You said he said about the God thing. What did he say? What was the?
He was talking about an artist. I think a famous horn player of I forgot what kind of
Satchmo.
Huh?
Satchmo.
I just don't remember. But he
I don't
said
know a lot of horn players. Yeah. Louis Armstrong, same guy.
I honestly, I would have to refer to the book, dude. I don't even know where it is in the book, but you have it now, so you'll see.
Yes, I haven't read it. I haven't got to it yet, but it's on the.
No rush on that.
Yeah.
It's great. You'll enjoy it. Take your time.
Oh, I love John Morey. I mean, it's not like I'll breeze through it in a day because I just love. He's got a way of talking that really captivates you. You know what I mean?
You'll love the way he wrote the book for sure. Yeah. It's great. But he was talking about another artist that he heard on the radio say the same exact thing. So it's something that's been carried down from another artist that he admires. Saying that he's trying to find God through the trumpet or the sax, whatever it was. This artist that he's referring to, and that in general is the main thing that stuck with me.
I like it. I do. I'm sure I could.
Because I mean, what would that mean to you? Finding God through something, through your art form.
I would think there's some context that would need to be put into it. You know what I mean? Because I watch a lot of like religious, like Bergman, film stuff like that, where that would very literally mean finding God, finding the Judeo-Christian God. But if you mean in an art sense, I would think for me, if I were to find God in something that I was writing, it would be finding the truth, the inner truth of it that I really want to express.
Yeah, and truth is
that's what it would mean to me.
Yeah, the truth of it is probably the biggest thing that makes it godlike, right?
I would say the truth. Now that we say truth, and that's another word that doesn't mean quite what it means, because the truth of something, the truth of art, is not a factual truth. It's not a necessarily scientific truth. You know what I mean?
No. There's only one truth that I can think of, and these are personal truths.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's a totally personal. It's got to be something that you and you alone can feel, and that you and you alone understand. That's why I don't like people going, well, what did the artist say about this work? Because I don't give a shit what someone said about their work, because what they take from it and what I take from it are going to be two different things. So what the meaning behind a piece of art has nothing to do with what the artist's intent is, because I'm not going to look at that the same way they looked at it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if a person's doing that, then their truth is going to be completely based off the definition of the artist, which isn't necessarily their truth.
No, it's just some vague idea.
But yeah, I mean, I would say if God is revealing itself in some kind of art form, that means it's getting the person who is experiencing that art to display or experience the most genuine and truest of all truisms. Sorry.
Well,
If that makes sense.
I accept that 100%. I accept that 100%. Yeah, without question.
Yeah. An undeniable, truism, I suppose.
Almost call it a universal truth for yourself. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
A universal truth in the sense that if somebody else was you and experiencing what you're experiencing, then they would understand that.
Yes.
And
If there was,
truth.
yes, if a set of circumstances happened and the person was you and they went through all the same exact, because we are not one thing. We're the sum total of all of the experiences and the feelings and the ideas and concepts that we take in together. We are a mass. You're not defined by one thing. You're defined
Still
by
not a
many.
Communist.
Huh?
Still not a commie though.
I'm a communist. I've been a communist since I was 14. I'm a registered.
But see,
registered.
Well, I believe you, but isn't that great that we're still friends?
I mean, I'm not fucking Trotsky or something. I'm not going to have you shot.
Good. I'm glad. But can I call you if I need somebody shot?
Not as far as publicly, no. As far as this airing this on
this for the Patreon, dude. You can say it.
Patreon. Yeah, absolutely.
We can hire to kill people on the Patreon.
What is this $20,000 tier here? What is that?
We'll fucking kill someone for you.
That was my Jim Gaffigan impression.
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Because everything he does is him just talking about his own jokes,
Yeah.
Because he makes a joke and it's not funny, and then he's like, "Why would he say that?" It's not funny.
I love Jim Gaffigan.
I like Jim, but I kind of hate that too.
Do you?
I kind of do. I kind of think it's annoying.
Oh.
When he overdoes it, he doesn't always overdo it.
Not always.
Well, sometimes he'll be like, when he's bombing, he gets fucking nervous and just starts doing it.
Oh man. Oh, but speaking of not bombing, Christina P at the comedy show that I went to recently.
She was good.
Holy fuck!
And did you say that
totally
she
killed it?
She messaged him offering him a hand job after the show.
Oh Jesus Christ! No, dude. It was she actually was gonna offer to. Well, she wanted to meet me and my lady before the show.
I think that's awesome. I think it was really decent of her to even reach out to you. And I think that it's good.
Unfortunately, it wasn't able to happen because her fucking green room got invaded, I guess. So it's just too many people. But
you never know. I mean,
anytime you get off of those kinds of things, it's really good to keep in the back of your mind. There's a really good chance it might not happen because things get crazy and things happen. And
her
their
intent,
life is crazier than yours, probably.
Her intent was to be nice.
Yeah.
And to reach out to you, and she can't control all of the other things that are happening.
And she still messaged afterwards and everything. And we actually got a gift for her, Susie and the Banshees record, and she got it, man. So
that's awesome. I think that's
I got
wonderful.
confirmation that she got it, and she messaged me about it, and it's all good.
I think that's really sweet story. It's good that you're supporting lady comedians.
Her opener, Chase O'Donnell, is really fucking funny too.
Chase O'Donnell.
Chase O'Donnell, so good. Yeah, they were both.
Is it a gentleman or is it a lady or a gentleman?
Lady.
Another lady.
Young lady.
Another lady comedian.
Young lady.
Jerry Lewis.
It's supposed to be my Bill Burr.
Oh, that's your Bill Burr. That sounded like Jerry Lewis. Oh, lady. No lady.
The Boston accent. Yeah, it did sound like Jerry Lewis. No, it's supposed to be like the Boston accent with the breaking voice.
Oh, that was definitely
lady.
A nutty professor.
If I could be louder right now, I probably would. Might be sleeping, so.
Lady with the thing and the shoe and the oi. Jerry Lewis. What a guy. All right.
That's my top 5.
That's your top 5. I'm gonna go ahead and do my top 5 now.
All right.
Now that you have a good list.
Weird list, but it's and a weird stuff I wrote about it. Thank you for
talk about things. Talk about things that we enjoy. This was a sometimes I think I get too rigid with my my dictations. You know what I mean?
No, it helps me keep a focused thought on what we're thinking about, what we're talking about, and all that shit. So,
but I think this one cool. I kind of wanted to.
But this is still fun. This is still loose. So
more of a free flowing hostility. I wanted.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me.
Let's hear your shit.
Is Lint. It's a novel by Steve Alett. Lint is a meta book. In that, it's a biography about a man who doesn't exist, with a documentary about the man who also doesn't exist.
Wow.
It's essentially like it's a collection of, it could be real, about this guy that's a writer that may or may not exist. I'm actually not 100% certain to this day. And it's almost like an ARG, you know what I mean? Like an augmented reality game. And when I read this book for the first time, I was going totally insane. I was feral. I was eating raw meat. I had the scabies. I was going
Jesus.
totally crazy.
Made you do all that, huh?
Huh?
Made you do all that?
Not. I mean, one's not necessarily correlating to the other. We were just doing a lot of drugs and stuff, and I was living rough, and it was just a crazy time for me. It's the first time I read it, and I think it did something to my brain, this book. And it's about a guy named Jeff Lint, who has worked on everything from Star Trek to a Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon called Caddy and the Major, which doesn't exist.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
He's printed as a surrealistic take on like Isaac Asimov almost, and it turns into something that makes you second guess what you're reading. And it inspired me to get into bizarro fiction a lot, which is what I mostly write, which is just fiction that doesn't make any sense.
Like just like really absurd shit. Or...
You know, there's I always try to have a through line through it, but it's a sense of absurdity that borders on parody. You know,
would you say it's kind of similar to like Chuck Palahniuk's? Did I say that right?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
His is absurd in a realist way.
Yeah. You ever read the book Pygmy that he wrote?
No, I don't like Chuck. I actually don't.
Okay.
I've read 3 of his books and I couldn't stand any of them. But once again, maybe revisiting him sometime later would be
like Choke.
I did not like Choke.
Love Choke. It's only one of his books I've read, actually. That and Pygmy.
I thought he was a poor man's Bret Easton Ellis, who I don't think is that good of a writer to begin with.
I don't know. You got to understand. I don't know unfortunately too many writers.
There's nothing wrong with liking Chuck, and I probably get a lot. I feel like Chuck how I feel about Quentin Tarantino. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. It's not my bag.
It's not your thing.
People give me grief for it. They're like, oh, you know, like Chuck. No, I don't fucking get him. It's not my bag.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a mad short book that I come back to a lot because it's just a collection of incredibly strange stories about a man who may or may not exist.
What year did the link come out?
Oh look, I have a copy right here.
Nice.
And Steve Allett is one of my favorite writers. He's an incredible writer. 2005.
Nice. Cool. Can I see the cover for it? Nice. Cool.
I'll read an excerpt from Lint.
Please do.
About Caddy and the Major, his cartoon. Lint was very specific about the way the character should look. The Major's head was required to be stained brown like a dead acorn, or as though badly burned. Caddy's Leone head looked mismatched in his body in a way that suggested he was wearing a massive rubber mask. While speaking, his mouth barely moved. Caddy sometimes starts clicking his fingers and reciting his crazy rhymes for school kids. The Major's voice is grating and low, his body apparently fragile, and he is in fact seen to be in a constant state of dying. He often falls over backwards, clacking, and lays inert for the remainder of the episode, wrecking any chance of forensic action and complaining vaguely of ache in his rubies. In the notorious 3rd episode, Face It, Friend, the Major coughs up blood. Impressed, Caddy tells him, "You are free." The dissolution of illness is a step on the road to death's release. The Major bursts into bittersweet tears, the sky behind him spiraling in a hypnotic device. The shock continues for almost a full minute, has been blamed for provoking epileptic fits. Jamie Price of the Major-centered CNN fan site, here on mylasteverorders.com, has theorized that the Major's condition of arrested death is symbol for a nuclear threat in the age of duck and cover.
That was pretty wild.
It just goes on like that, you know? It's just crazy nonsense.
Yeah, that kind of had me feeling really hectic.
It's a very fan, and I was living in a really shitty place and was borderline homeless, and I was going crazy.
You might want to center your camera a little bit. You moved your camera. There you go. Now I can see it.
And so it spoke to me on this level that I can't quite get back to in my brain from all the acid, probably. Number 4 Miracle Man, to the surprise of no one who knows me, since I have a big Miracle Man tattoo on my arm.
I'm not familiar.
It was okay. So it was originally created by a guy named Mick Anglo, and it was a cheap British knockoff of Captain Marvel. You know, Shazam.
Yeah.
In the 50s, because they lost the rights to it in England, so they just had to do something because they were still publishing it. So they just changed the name, and it was really shitty. Alan Moore in the 80s was given a chance to revamp it, and he did. And this was the first time. I don't know if this was before Swamp Thing, but it was his first time deconstructing the Superman. Deconstruction of the Superman, and this was really the first time in comics it was done. He took this cheap, bland character and he gave it a social weight, a heft, a moral and philosophical idea that ranged from Nietzsche and Marx to Kierkegaard. You know, he saw this character become something wholly original, and it had these stories that ranged from, you know, he became a god. You know what I mean? In this new world of the 80s. And he changes it. He throws the world into chaos with these new ideas, new concepts, and it's a brilliant story. And because of legal issues for years, no one could read it, which I'll get into another time about that. So when I read it, I bought the issues 25 years ago. It was like this hidden secret society of comic fans where I was in now that I'd read Miracle Man. You know what I mean? It was a weird hidden kingdom to me. It really spoke to me, and Neil Gaiman ended up taking up the mantle after Alan Moore left. Alan gave him the rights to the character to write, and it was the first
person to give it to, right? Neil Gaiman's amazing.
And it was the first solo project Neil Gaiman ever did.
Nice.
And it was a massively important comic that took comics into the realistic sense that they became a short time later. You know what I mean? The grim and grit of the 80s, of the Dark Knight Returns and the Watchmen's, and it's sort of a proto Watchmen in that kind of way. And
nice.
Of course, I have a quote from it. You know, I kind of like, this was my favorite part, is getting quotes from stuff so I can read them, just so people can enjoy a little bit.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
This is
do,
from
sure.
issue 16.
I should have done shit.
No, well, you can't. I wasn't going to tell you that. O Earth, look up beyond the centuries' horizons, where the light of the millennium to come already stains the skies with colors strange and new. Look up, we've repealed the laws of gravity, torn off the ceiling of the world that was so very low. The skies are yours, new beaches made of cirrus cloud, new valleys made of stratocumulus. Lift up your heads, you're not mazed to gaze at gutters, mud, and puddles all your lives, but have not dared to raise your sights in case the thing you long for was not there. Look up and see it now, the shape that's haunted human dreams and legend since we first peered from the jungles long ago, and wonder what might dwell upon those blue and distant skies, upon those mountains there. Oh, Earth, look up.
It's beautifully written.
Alan Moore, he could write about a piece of shit and it'd be fantastic.
Hell yeah.
That's
awesome.
Number 3. I would. You're not a comic guy. I would definitely recommend Miracle Man, even to a lay person, just for the interesting sake of it.
I would have to check it out for sure.
Number 3,
comics.
My favorite novel of all time, Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. It's a bleak, half true, half fiction. I would go as far as to say it's nihilistic, about scalp hunters along the Mexican border.
Nihilistic is very fitting for you.
Well, that's not. I'm not. Maybe a little bit. Cormac is a masterful writer, though he's difficult to read sometimes. He wrote No Country for Old Men, Child of God. I don't know if you knew him. Sometimes he can be confusing to read because he doesn't use any fucking punctuation.
Oh, he doesn't? No.
It's incredibly difficult. But this thing, once you read his stuff and it clicks, you hear it. When you read
how it's being spoken.
Yeah, it takes a little bit, but for me, it's like maybe a chapter or 2 into everything he writes. I'm starting to flow. There's a flow that you get. There's a temperance. There's a cadence because he's talking. People are talking, and there's a rhythm, and he's trying to get you into this almost a jazz beat. Do you know what I mean? With the way he's writing.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and it's a hard thing for people to pick up and look. Well, there's no fucking punctuation. It's maddening, and I get it.
I've been wanting to read Cormac McCarthy for a while now.
He's good. I would
ever since I saw No Country, I'm like, oh, I got to read this book.
No Country is a great book, and that's probably a good starter because it's not it's not a very difficult book. Blood Meridian is a little bit of a very tense, and it introduced one of the greatest monsters in the history of literature, Judge Holden. He's a giant, pale. He's got alopecia. They call him the devil himself. You know, he's this genius, and he can. There's one scene where he's speaking Dutch, and the guy's talking about him. He goes, he speaks Dutch. I said, where'd you learn Dutch? He says, off a Dutchman. Just this like incredibly quick-witted. Just he doesn't want to give you any real answers. And I compare the novel to a Desaad novel in Marquis de Sade. Everything he wrote had a moral sense to it. He was trying to moralistically explain why it's good to kill people and rape them. Whereas Cormac gives you no such morals. Everything is presented, here it is. Here's this horrible thing that happens. Here's a child being murdered. And there's no conversation about it. There's no waxing or waning. Here's how it happens. Here's what happens. I mean, I want to spoil it. Can I spoil the end of the book for you? Or do you want to prefer I not?
I don't know. I kind of want to read it now.
It's incredibly powerful. And the ending to it is, I would say, jarring to a degree when you realize what happened, because it's vague. But if you read it again, what happened is very, very, very clear. It's a depressing, beautiful, haunting, horrifying book that I come back to quite a bit. I think I have it here. I have a beat up copy of it.
It's fuck yeah.
Visual aids. Quote from that. I just have one simple quote. It's probably one of my favorite quotes in history. The judge he's constantly collecting things and making notes about them in a book. Everybody's wondering, why are you doing that? And he says, anything that exists without my knowledge exists without my consent.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And so you get the kind of character you're dealing with in that.
Fucking power hungry piece of shit.
Well, he's quite a monster. If you're hesitant on stuff, I wouldn't. If you're squeamish, there's some monstrous activities happening in the book, and it's based on a true group of people. This was a real Galton. I don't know. There's a bunch of guys that would they would kill Indians and say they were killing Mexicans and get the reward for the ears that they would turn into the United States government, because we were at the Mexican-American War, and so for every Mexican ear you were turning in, you would get money.
Jesus Christ!
And so they would just kill Indians and say they was Mexicans.
That's fucking dark.
Yeah, it's true. That's a true part of it, and that's not even the worst part. So for number 2, I cheated on this one. Okay. It's 2 people, and I'm going to run through them quickly because these 2 people probably influenced me the most, writing and things that I enjoy. H.P. Lovecraft and Harlan Ellison. 2 writers
I know H.P. I don't know Harlan Ellison.
That I absolutely love. Obviously, Lovecraft, the father of the Eldritch horror. He took that, expanded on the Poe sense of pulp horror. And Ellison, I credit him with helping to breed that a new kind of fiction, the incredibly tense, the Chuck Palahniuk kind of fiction.
Okay.
Ellison, I credit him with that sort of like hyper tense, odd, that didn't follow literary rules. Do you know what I mean? Because he is known for that. Ellison probably had more of an effect on my writing and the way I took literature. Like how I write now is probably closer to Ellison than it would ever be Lovecraft. Repent Harlequins of the TikTok Man is a story from him, and it's one of my favorite stories of all time. He just has this anger to him. His voice, his narrators have this sort of sense of tension that I get. Like me and him have a similar temperament where we're just very agitated guys. And I took that anger and I could focus it into a story thanks to just reading and even listening to him, because he has this incredibly angry voice, Harlan Ellison does.
Oh, so he reads his own shit.
He would do narration, and he did it for one of his stories was adapted into a video game, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And he did the voiceover.
What was it?
I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Great name.
And it's and he did the narration for the bad guy in it, and he's just got this. He also got fired from Disney in one day.
Oh, geez, how?
He got hired for Disney as a writer. He got a big old office and a secretary. He goes to lunch at 10:30. He starts talking about wanting to make all these Disney characters fucking, and who was sitting behind him? The Eisners, the family, the whole family.
Oh my God.
Eisner's own Disney. I don't know if you know them. And he said he went back up, went to his office, it was locked, and his secretary was gone.
Wow.
I said, well, that's the end of my day. And that was it. Got fucking fired. He's also responsible, I mentioned him before, for Scientology. He's the guy who bet L. Ron Hubbard he couldn't make a religion.
Wow.
He's an incredibly strange, and I've taken a lot from him writing wise. And I used to do stuff like I'd read his stuff and be like, I get it, like I get what he's saying. Lovecraft's mastery of vague concepts and ideas is unparalleled. He could discuss monsters, sex cults, and madness in 2 sentences, and you would never know that's what the fuck he's talking about. And he had this old timey wording, even for the 20s, because he was an Anglophile, because he was a really weird dude. He was a shut-in, raised by his aunts because his mother was put in an insane asylum. He never went out of his house. No wonder he was a racist, because he was weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was a weird shut-in. He was afraid of the ocean because he couldn't swim. I get that one. And I'd read King and other people before him, but coming to Lovecraft, I was fairly young and early teen, and I'd never read anything like it. I'd never read how you could be afraid of something that's never explained. I'd
love to read more of Lovecraft.
He created a universe where we're so small that the horrors don't even care about us.
Jesus.
Because the things that he deals with aren't angry at people. They don't even care about people. They exist independent of us. Yeah. And so those are 2 that I really love. And I have 2 quotes from both of them. I'll get this through. The Lovecraft one is the most cliche quote from The Call of Cthulhu. Everybody that's read him will know this one. The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance in the midst of a black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. The sciences, each straining in their own direction, have hitherto harmed us little. But someday the piercing together of disassociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality and of our frightful position therein, we shall either go mad from the revelation or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age.
Damn, that's fucking great.
That's the opening to Call of Cthulhu. Wow. And I have one from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison. He would never let us go. We were his belly slaves. We were all he had to do with his forever time. We would be forever with him, with the cavern-filling bulk of the creature machine, with the all-mind, soulless world he had become. He was earth, and we were the fruit of that earth. And though he had eaten us, he would never digest us. We could not die. We had tried it. We had attempted suicide. Oh, 1 or 2 of us had, but aim had stopped us. I suppose we had wanted to be stopped. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff there.
I like it.
And number 1, I would recommend Harlan Ellison and Lovecraft to you. To anybody, I think would get a kick out of it. Lovecraft is a little hard to get into because of his writing style. But once you get through some of the strange pacing, I think you'll have a fine time just breezing through it.
Oh yeah, I already know that I'm gonna like whatever Lovecraft I read.
I would recommend The Shadow Out of Time is my favorite Lovecraft story. It's fucking brilliant, and the revelation at the end, I love it. It's how you do a twist.
Oh yeah,
it's perfectly done. And for number 1, I don't think this will surprise anybody. My favorite piece of media or literature of them is Berserk. I think it's the greatest piece of literature, sincerely to me, in the world. Kento Miura, who passed last year, truly his masterpiece, and we won't ever see an ending to it. It's 40 plus volumes, thousands and thousands and thousands of pages. I mean, this came out in the 80s. You know what I mean? And he only died last year.
He's been putting them out ever since.
It's inspired so much. It's about love and longing and loss and roles of gender and sexuality in society, race, culture, creed, sacrifice. It's about this guy Guts and his massive sword. You know, this that's where that came from. You know, the big sword in like Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, the Buster Sword.
All reference to Berserk. That's where it came from.
Little shout out to Berserk.
Nice. He started the big sword thing, and even in the beginning of it, they talk about his sword, and someone's like, "That's not a sword. It's like a slab of iron, raw iron." And he's just this. He's got one eye, and he's got a metal hand, and he's just this angry, violent. And you think it's about one thing. You think it's about this violent man and his violent actions. And it turns into this huge, sweeping, beautiful, horrifying story about the things you lost in life, the things in your life and the people you leave behind, the heartbreak and the vigor. It's violent, but it's the tender moments. It's the moments with friends that are really the best ones. He talks about several times about how I lost so much and now I have back good times. And it's about the criticism of violence, the lifestyle he has. And those are the most impactful. I've been reading it for 20 plus years, and there are moments clean to me as day that I can recall. And something I think even people who don't enjoy manga or comics can get something out of it. So there's some sexual assault stuff in it that maybe is a little bit touchy for people, but it's never presented as a positive. It's never presented in a sexual fun light. It's presented as horrifying and bad. And I think that's an important thing.
Yeah.
And so I have a rather long quote, if you don't mind me taking a moment here.
Absolutely, don't mind.
This is from the Conviction Arc Birth Ceremony chapter. The chapter is called Cracks in the Blade. Guts, the main guy, goes to talk to a guy named Guido who made his sword. He's going to repair it. And Guido is dying of the plague. Okay. So Guido's talking to him and he goes, this is all one guy saying this, okay, to Guts, the main character. This is the thing about hatred. It's a place where people who can't look sorrow in the eye without wavering run off to. Even more than a blood-rusted sword, vengeance is something you soak and sharpen in blood. You sink that blade called your heart deep into blood in order to fix the nicks called sorrow. The more you sharpen, the more it rusts. So you sharpen it again, and in the end, all that's left is a pile of rust and scraps. You've got some huge nicks in your heart, damn cracks called fear running all through it. You abandoned those irreplaceable things. You went alone on that day 2 years ago in your hopeless suffering. You left the last irreplaceable thing you had and went away by yourself. You were right beside those irreplaceable things, and you couldn't bear to immerse yourself together in sorrow with them. So instead you ran away. So you ran away so that your own malice could burn inside you. Am I wrong? Do you have any place to criticize Rickard, who you left here? Do you have any place talking about revenge for your friends when you're the one who went off abandoning that girl here? At the critical moment, you go and chose yourself and rely on fighting. You're like a drawn sword in the battlefield, one with countless nicks soaked in blood with a lethal crack in it, a sword that's begun to break.
Yeah.
And that's stuff like that you get. And I have one other little one. This is from a little bit early. I think it was a little earlier, from the Conviction Arc Lost Child chapter, Blue Sky Elf. And it's about this girl that Guts, he'd helped her deal with this monster. And the monster wasn't quite the monster you would think. So he leaves, and she says, he disappeared into the darkness. In the end, I still don't know who he was. Just like when he appeared, he took the demons with him. I was the only one left behind. I still don't really know what these past days of fear, sadness, and shock were to me. The mist cleared away. The mist that would never go away was pushed out by the flames. The clear sky now peeks through. But it's by no means a spectacle that makes my heart leap. Like when I flew in the sky, it's savage, lonely, cold, but such a vivid sky. It's clear like after a storm blows through. I don't have wings, so I guess I'll look up in the sky and crawl along the earth. And it's just constant, just bangers like that.
Heavy. Love it.
It's very heavy. It's something that I would, it's, you know, and we're never going to get an ending. We got something of an ending. I guess we'll take it.
You're going to have to, right?
I mean, they could do more. They were talking about, because he had people that helped him write it, but I don't know.
You think that they would be able to do justice to his writing?
I don't know. I don't know. So that's our thing.
I didn't know anything on it.
It's that seems to be the normal way of doing things, isn't it?
I mean, I know of Cormac McCarthy. I know of Blood Meridian, but I've never read it.
Well,
Cormac.
Yeah, this is, you know, I like that we came from different places on stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I'm going to be honest. Like when we were going to do this one, I already was going into it. I'm like, I'm going to be all embarrassed and shit.
No,
like I'm always embarrassed in all the podcasts we do. Dude.
Why? What's embarrassing about it? Is it because of all the cock talk?
Just because I'm critical about myself, you know.
You get fevered dreams from all the cock talk.
Yeah, exactly. My fevered dreams are all just fucking floating elephant cock and horse cock. Elephant cock.
Animal cock, and it's nothing but, well, you went to the animal place really quickly. You got something else you want to tell me about? If you're a furry?
I'll never tell you.
You know who's afraid of furries?
Who?
Coral's afraid of furries.
Like literally afraid of
doesn't
furries?
like them.
Why?
She just doesn't care for them. I don't know. She just doesn't. I think she's afraid that if her life went different, she would be a furry.
She can see herself falling into that trap.
Oh, can't you? I can see her falling into that trap. She's like, her origin story is like the Joker one bad day, but she's a fucking furry. You know how I got this? you got these guys. I got this suit. You know what I mean? And she tells one guy. That's fucking the worst thing. I've had a number of friends who are furries. They're, I don't agree. Weird, but like they've all been very nice people. They're all, they're weird people. They're
I mean, who cares as long as they're nice.
They always were good tippers. They're always very polite. I had a friend Zippy that we traveled, a number of times, and he wore a tail everywhere. He was Zippy Kitty.
Was it like a butt plug tail or?
No, it was he just wore it around his belt. I mean, he may have had a butt plug. Well, I didn't saw that, but that's what he liked. Like, whatever, didn't hurt anybody.
Cool. I'm for it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Nina Simone's gum?
Well, dude, actually, I mean, if you don't mind, I was going to say I would genuinely love to dedicate a whole episode to Nina Simone's gum.
Do you want the next episode to be about Nina Simone's gum after the Twin Peaks one?
Why not? Why not? Fuck yeah, that would be cool.
I'm down for that. I have a lot to say about it. I really do.
I'd love to hear it, and I'd love to like touch on whatever you have to say about it, and maybe I'll see if I can write something up for it, like a little maybe an
make a little list again about your.
No, maybe not a list, but maybe I'll just because when I was writing this, it was all kind of like how Warren was writing it, stream of consciousness.
You need like 80-point font.
I do until I get my glasses. Yeah,
I saw you were like,
font. I was just like. Yeah, and but also I made it really, really small accidentally. So yeah.
I can't.
But I think the book is worth a whole.
You think it's a whole episode worth? I'm down for that.
Well, because I think it's open to so many things that we feel personally special about that we can talk about.
Yeah, I actually got a lot out of it, more than I would have expected.
Yeah, especially with how because it's heavy with the imagery, so it's got so many pictures and. You blow through the book so fast that you wouldn't think that you
I had
as much as you do.
I had to stop myself from blowing through it too fast. I was reading it and I'm like, okay, I have to put it down now.
I finished reading it within honestly maybe 4 or 5 sessions. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, I read it only when Ava was taking a bath and I was sitting in there with her.
Okay.
And so I probably breezed through it in like an hour and a half total of time.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah. And I'm already like almost halfway through it again. So yeah, by the time we talk about it, I'll have it done again. So.
In between like washing her hair and playing with toys, I would be like, okay, here's 3 chapters because they would say, hey, it was written like this big.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about all of that. I like that idea.
It's perfect for what it is, man. It was touching to me. Like it was amazing.
I want to say something about the birthday thing. I get so fucking sick and tired of birthdays. Having to fucking dedicate David Lynch's birthday. I haven't read.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait.
Dude, I don't want to talk about Nina Simone anymore because we're gonna do a whole episode about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore because we're gonna do a whole thing about it.
Sounds good.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to. I have a lot I want to talk about. I'll get in. You know me. I get into a thing. I get into a whole thing.
Let's hear birthday shit.
I don't fucking like it. Every day I got to go on there. They're like, oh, hey, someone's birthday. I'm not prepared for this. I don't know what day.
For it. I always piggyback on whatever people post, dude. I wouldn't have found out it was David Lynch's birthday today unless I went on Instagram and saw it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a meme for people's birthday. So that's nothing to do with me. I didn't fucking birth them out. I didn't fucking come in anybody's mom. I mean, not David Lynch's mom, certainly. And I didn't fucking, I got a kid. She had a couple kids. I've dated some moms. I like moms. To go on a tangent. I like moms.
Hey, you're a MILF hunter. I get it.
I'm not hunting any MILFs. I don't have a net. I don't have a net or glasses or anything. But I like a mom. I fuck a mom. What was I talking about? Birthdays. Every day I go on there and it's Louis Piccoli's birthday. It's Trent Reznor's birthday. It's fucking. I'm like, I can't keep up with this. I can't possibly be expected to do this.
Well, you know what? If you find out it's someone's birthday, all you got to do is just find a video of them dancing and set that video to a mashup of 9 Inch Nails and 50 Cent in the club and Closer, and call that mashup Closer.
I don't want to do that. That's something you would do. It's cheap.
It's something I did.
I know. That's what. It's something. It's tawdry and cheap. I like to be original.
You're just jealous you didn't make the mashup. Whatever.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. For God's sakes. Everybody's like, "Oh, David Lynch's birthday! Happy birthday!" Like, what do you think he does for his birthday? You think he gets a cupcake or something?
Probably.
He seems like a cupcake kind of guy. He seems like a cupcake guy.
or maybe he would get I think oh man, on one of the weather reports, he too was talking about getting like a warm chocolate chip cookie with some vanilla ice cream on it. Oh,
That's pretty good.
shit. That
sounds pretty good.
Dude, there's yeah.
I told you I'm fasting on Mondays. Thursdays. I'm starving. So I'm talking about food.
You're such a good Muslim, dude.
You
You're
know,
a great Muslim.
You know, something I have no predilection towards the Muslim faith. I do want to say, you know, I was at Allah Akbar. I love God is
Allahu Akbar.
God is big. God is big.
God is good, or yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is
God
great.
is great. Yeah. I love the concept of that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's a positive message.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, about that Muslim guy that shot up the.
Oh, the synagogue.
That is not cool, man.
You know what, man? You said a lot of crazy shit, but I think I can agree with you. It's not cool.
It's not cool. Out of all the things that I said today, you're.
No, I'm sorry. That's
elephant. That's pretty fucked up.
To comment on that, no, that's awful.
And then they wouldn't say he was like a radical dude. They were like a British man.
Yeah, they just kept on.
You know, he's not just a British guy, right? Like, they're like, well, we don't want to be racist. I'm like, he's not racist, but reporting the facts. Like, dude was a radical. He's a radical extremist.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because my girlfriend's trying to move super slow and not move the laptop. She's sitting on the same surface that the laptop is on, so she's like moving super slow.
Was it Dave Bautista when he's moving super slow, so he's almost invisible?
Yes. Yes.
That's her right now.
Yes.
I keep seeing her in the TV reflection walking around.
Oh, you see her in the TV reflection?
Yeah, I see what she's doing. There was a whole like minute where she had a hammer right behind you, and she didn't do it, but you know.
You had a hammer behind me?
She was thinking about it. She'd have brained you, and that'd have been the end of the story. And then I would turn this footage into nobody because I'm not a rat.
She was saying if I don't fucking end this podcast soon, I'm gonna fucking bash my head.
Well, I don't want him to get killed, and we have about run our 2 hours up. I think this was very informative. I really like this.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to our discussion on Nina Simone's gum.
Yeah, next show will be Twin Peaks episode 5, whatever the fuck it's called.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we just did 4.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I have it in order on my little listy here. Episode 5.
What's the name of the episode?
I don't know. I'll look. Hold on a second. I have it constantly up here. Episode 5, Cooper's Dreams.
Okay.
It's called episode 5.
You're right.
Cooper's Dreams. It's called episode 5, not episode 6.
You know what? I'm past them.
Oh, you're frozen. Okay. Well, that was a good show.
I'm over it.
I didn't get to any of.
Awesome.
We're talking Nina Simone's gum. We're going to talk about. What are these notes? I never know my notes.
You need glasses.
Oh, I'm blind as a fucking bat. I can't see you.
So we both need them.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye,
well,
everybody.
Fun,
there was a lot of fun. We got you learned more about us.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot of
I'm
people.
still learning to talk, guys. Bear with me.
Well, we got a lot of people that watch this, and you know, like I said, a lot of the ladies are masturbating listening to me talking here, and they don't care so much for your. So there's a whole portion where I'm just talking. They're gonna love it.
Oh yeah, they'll
love
that.
Like, this. Get rid of this jackanape topping. We want to hear the sexy voice guy. It's not.
Yeah, I bring no sex appeal to the show, unfortunately.
I think you're a good-looking guy. I give you a poke.
Thank you.
Good enough for a poke.
Hey, I smoke. I poke.
Yeah, give you a little in out. All right. On that note.
In and out. Love you, buddy.